Wedding bells are ringing and they should have been ours. That's why I'm so lonely, my dreams gone above. High on a mountain of love. High on a mountain of love. High on a mountain of love.
Kingsporters, we are right here in the Renaissance Center's art gallery on the second floor. And I am with one of my favorite all-time musicians, Lightnin Charlie. Welcome to the show today, and welcome to the Renaissance Center as always.
Thank you, Miss Martha. It's a pleasure to be here, and with my favorite boss.
I don't know about that. But I have right here with me a copy of your book, Lightnin Charlie, Off the Record. And a lot of people were here back in May when you it was hot off of the press.
For the Red Hot and Blue Review. For
the Red Hot and Blue Review that we have, and we're actually working on the second annual Red Hot and Blue Review, which will be in the 1st of May of '09. But I'm also going to say I haven't received an autographed copy yet, so
I don't know how I'm going to remedy that today. I promise.
I hope so. But if you're interested in the book, which I'm sure you will be, Lightnin Charlie, Off the Record, you can contact you. What is I'm sure you have a website.
My website is lightnincharlie.com, lightnincharlie.com. The books are available there. They're in the Country Music Museum in the Bristol Mall, Mr. K's in Johnson City. And the good thing, really the good news, Miss Martha, about that book, I compiled it from an online blog of mine, stories about being on the road and what life was like for a professional musician. And just published the book for my fans and myself, and Aaron Books has picked up the publishing on the book, and Ingram is going to distribute the book worldwide. It's going to be Ingram is the largest book distributor in the world, and it's going to be in over 17,000 bookstores worldwide.
That is great. I mean, people in Kingsport don't realize how fortunate we are to have all of the local artists that we have in the community. And I remember when you were working fast and furious to get it complete for when you were here in the Renaissance Center in concert. And we were certainly excited about that, and always excited to have you here in the Renaissance Center, and look forward to, you may be on the bestseller someday.
I tell you what, the Lord works in mysterious ways. I have 3 CDs in my career that really tried hard for international distribution, which I never got any kind of major distribution deal. And write a book in a month. I'm going to, what I mean? It's crazy.
And I know you do great work around the community as well. You perform for nursing homes, and
it's my favorite.
I know that they just really look forward to you coming.
Awesome.
And
the greatest generation.
And being there, and it's such a great need for people in nursing homes to have musicians and artists come by and entertain them.
I'm more popular than bingo, they say.
Oh, wow. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That's up there.
That's up there. You're right on up there with bingo. And then I know you're in Jonesboro, I think, on a monthly basis, aren't you?
At the Cranberry Thistle, a real nice family-run restaurant downtown Jonesboro. I'm there the first Saturday of each month.
That's a regular performance, and I know you're just performing all over the place. So you can go to your website. You're right. Go to your website and find out where you're going to perform next. And we're going to, and speaking of performing next, let's
hear something?
Yeah, let's hear something and take us out with a really good song.
You know I can't be found up sitting home all alone. You say pop, pop. If you can come around, pop, pop. At least please telephone, pop, pop. Don't be cruel to a heart that's true. Well, baby, if I made you mad,
bop, bop,
something that I might have said, bop, bop, you just forgive my past, bop, bop. The future looks bright ahead. Don't be cruel to a heart that's true. I don't want no other love. Oh, baby, it's still you I'm thinking of. Bop, bop.
Bop, bop.
Bop, bop. That was great, by the way.
With the bop, bops. Well, since we made it through the bop bops.
That was great bop bop.
Those were great bop bops.
Bop and the blues.
You're right. Tell us a little bit more about the book. I know people will be very interested in it, and I know it's full of your life stories. Pick out a story and tell us about it.
Well, the people are always asking. They're naturally curious about what is it like to play music for a living, and I believe that anyone who travels. You just collect the craziest, the most outrageous kind of stories, the things that happen to you out on the road. And with me being years and years making my living in nightclubs, that made it the stories that I collected even that much more outrageous. And so I started, the book was originally the blog on my website, which I kept monthly for about 3 years. And they got so popular on my website, I would get emails from people in Australia, and it'd be like the 3rd or 4th of the month, and I'd get emails from all over the world saying, it's the 3rd of the month, it was called Lightnin Lowdown on my website. Where's the new lowdown? And so I thought, this I might be onto something here, and the thing is that I wanted to write them. I didn't want to just glorify or revel in these. There's some rough stories in here. I mean, my history is kind of rough. I wrote about these things honestly. I wanted to tell the story of a man who finally let go and let God, and was delivered from the desert and into the promised land. And I felt a duty to write these stories honestly and accurately, and just to show where I came from and where the Lord has brought me. And so it was kind of tough to write in that respect, because we play a lot of churches. My wife and I sing in a lot of churches regionally, and you have a merchandise table, and some sweet little old church lady might come to the table and pick up a copy of the book and get home and read it, and her wig fall off at reading these stories. But don't get me, there's nothing vulgar or anything. It's just there were fights, and it's kind of like an old John Wayne movie, being run out of town and fighting and drunks and disorderlies, but the stories are all really funny. Will Rogers said everything is funny as long as it's happening to somebody else. And these stories about what happened to me are just, no one could make these kind of things up. For example, there's one story in here, a chapter called Kissin' Cousins, It's All Relative, or I'm My Own Grandpa, and that is about a trip to Memphis that we made with the band, and we're playing a gig on Beale Street for Jerry Lee Lewis's daughter, and it was Jerry Lee and his first cousin Myra's daughter, and second cousin. You see how this gets all kind of twisted. And that's the only time in my career that I've ever been docked any money. I've been stolen from a lot of times, but get zero. But this was the only time before or since that I've ever had pennies surgically removed from my pay. She called me up in her office and after our show and said, you were supposed to start your third set at 4:45 and you didn't start till 4:47. I said, well, so we played longer. We got 2 encores. We played longer. She said, doesn't matter. You were supposed to start at 4:45 and you didn't start till 4:47, so I'm going to deduct 2 minutes from your pay. And she sat down. This is before calculators, I guess, and she had an abacus, and which is tough because her family tree only has 1 branch. So she's figuring out what our hourly rate is, and then divides by 60 and gets like a minute rate, multiplies that by 2 and subtracts it from an already very low amount of money. And she deducted, it was $1 our punitive damages came to like $1.12 or something ridiculous. And I'm sitting there looking at her just, I can't believe this has happened, never happened to me in my life. And I'm just looking at her in shock. And she pushes my money across the desk, and I pick up the money and put it in my pocket, and I'm still staring at her, just incredulous. And she says, "You got anything to say?" And I looked at her and said, "When cousins marry," and split and ran down the steps, you know, because I was afraid she was going to be coming after me with, you know, a syringe and some swimming trunks, like they find all of Jerry Lee's wives, you know, beat up in the swimming pool dead, and Lord have mercy. And you know, there's stories of my childhood. There's stories of how I came to become a musician. My family, my aunt Jeanette, my mother's sister, was friends with Elvis Presley and his family, and used to go to Graceland and spend long weekends and go out roller skating and stuff with Elvis. The impact that had on me as a child was, you know, huge. So it's a fun read. I wanted it to be, like I said, not be offensive to folks in church and so forth, but I also wanted it to be a witness to folks who, you know, are in a situation similar to what I was in, and to let them know that, you know, the title, you didn't say the subtitle before, which is my favorite. Can you read that on the bottom
I
there?
don't have my glasses on.
You don't have your glasses on?
I'm going to show my age
I'll put
here.
you on the spot?
Yep.
If your arm was long enough, you wouldn't need that. Well, it's it's Lightnin Charlie Off the Record, The Trials and Tribulations of a Traveling Troubadour, which shows my love of alliteration, and it also proves that you never have to have read a book to write one. Oh.
That's great. And I know, you know, I've had the honor of working with you over the past couple of years, and every time I'm with you, your energy, your inspiration, your testimonials are always inspiring, and I appreciate that. And I know in the book, sometimes, you know, when we come into friendships or whatever, everybody's got a history.
Absolutely.
And the older we are, the more history we have. Well, the more history we have, and sharing that history with your friends and family and your fans, I think is very inspirational, and I think you will have an impact on a lot of young artists who are starting out and seeing how hard it is. I mean, it's not easy, you know, getting started as a musician or any kind of an artist, and I think those roads are up and down, and I think this book
and the choices
definitely shows that.
Makes, you know, I mean, that's you can make it. I think they say that in the Army. You can make it easy on yourself or hard on yourself. You know, it's up to you. And I mean, it's going to be hard. I think I have a couple chapters called that I use just, at the end of the story. I'll say, "So you want to be in show business?" You know, it was really fun to do, and I think it was Truman that said that the only thing new in the world is history that you don't know yet or haven't learned yet. And everybody's got a book in them. You know, I mean, everyone, the drama of real life is the greatest drama and the greatest comedy and the greatest tragedy and triumph. And I mean, those are the real, you know, the real heroic stories, and all that are, you know, you can't make, Shakespeare couldn't make up what's in this book.
Well, and I think your personal interaction with the audience has just helped your fan base so much, and the people who love you and watch. All we have to do is put Lightnin Charlie on the marquee in front of the Renaissance Center, and people start. People start buying tickets.
Pressure wash and
no. You've got a tremendous fan base, and Kingsport should feel very lucky to have you in the area and in the region, and we always look forward to you performing here in the Renaissance Center. So let's have another song. We've been talking too long, and
okay.
Or I'll hold your book.
All right, hold the book.
I'll hold the book.
Start that again. Okay. I'll give you a second. Jesus, won't you come by here? Oh, Jesus, won't you come by here? Jesus, won't you come by here? Now is a needed child, oh, now is a needed child. Jesus, won't you come by here? Jesus, if you don't stay long, oh, even if you don't stay long, Jesus, won't you come by here? Now is a needed child, oh, now is a needed child. Jesus, won't you come by here?
Thank you for that beautiful, beautiful song.
Thank you, Martha.
And one more thing, tell us a little bit about your childhood and how you got started as an artist, and give us one piece of advice for those young artists out there thinking about getting started.
I was given my first guitar at 11 years of age by my father, who gave me just basically anything in the world I wanted. I mean, we didn't have a lot of money, but my mother and dad just, I was the only child. My mother had 2 children older from a previous marriage, so I have a stepbrother and sister, but I was pretty much the baby in all respects, you know, in just the worst sense of the word, and I was just given anything I wanted, and I wanted a guitar because, you know, I mentioned before I had some history with Elvis Presley. I mean, to a kid, I remember my Aunt Jeanette telling me these stories of the greatest star in the world, and it was such a combination of this huge fame and rock and roll and all this stuff, but also with Christianity and a godly man, and these stories that she told that were just unbelievable, and it impacted me so much as a child that I memorized, I knew, and do today, every syllable of every Elvis song that ever was. Also got really immersed in all the music of the 50s and 60s. I loved the Beatles, still do. Bands like Creedence Clearwater Revival and stuff like that from the 60s. Gospel music. I got into being such a big Elvis fan. I wanted to explore the music that Elvis liked, and what kind of stuff made Elvis become Elvis, you know, what influenced him. And later was when I went away to college at East Tennessee State University. I had never played in any bands growing up. I was not your typical garage band kind of a kid. I just played acoustic guitar in my bedroom and sung all these, you know, Elvis songs and whatnot. And when I went away to college, I fell in with bad companions, all these other guys that owned electric guitars, and started hanging out with them and jamming and playing music, and ended up in a band playing guitar. And we had a singer who was, we had one gig. I remember we had one show, which is one of these free things. Clubs, generally, they'll have these battle of the bands, and that's a code word for anybody out there watching. Usually, battle of the bands is a code word that clubs use for getting 4 or 5 bands and not paying for any of them, right? So, well, we won't book a band. We'll have a battle of the bands and get all these bands to come free and just fight amongst each other, and the winner comes back next week. And we were playing one of these things, and our singer was such a nervous wreck that he couldn't come out, and then when he did come out, we wish he had stayed back lying down backstage wherever he was. So anyway, we lost our singer, and we started auditioning singers. And it was like it was just one fruit cake after another, showing up, claiming to be a singer. The band finally, out of frustration, said to me, well, we've heard you sing before, just, you know, messing around. You're the singer. And I said, but I don't sing. Nope, you sing. They pushed me right out in front, and I had to literally learn how to sing and learn how to be a front man and all of that. I saw Stevie Ray Vaughan, the guitar player from Texas, who changed the entire world for every guitar player in the 1980s. I saw him 3 times live, and I remember the night, I write about it in the book, that it was just an epiphany for me, where it was the night, I remember it like it was yesterday, that I saw him and said, that's what I want to do. You know, where you're shown something, you know, I had never before that even considered playing music for a living or as a job. I mean, you play with other guys, you know, fooling around, you know, but never even considered that. And that was 26 years ago, 25 years ago, and have played music for my job almost ever since. There in the beginning, of course, was you couldn't pay rent with playing battles of the bands, you know. But I've just been so lucky and so blessed, and I've worked very hard. I think that if I were to offer advice to anyone out there who is has the bug or the desire to play music and maybe to perform music professionally, and I would urge them to listen to as much music as they possibly can. I know that sounds kind of trite, but you've got so many young people who don't even scratch the surface. To them, an old song is something from, you know, 2005, you know, and the thing is to just immerse themselves in the music and learn as much as they can about, well, if they like this guy, say they like this guy, well, you know, who does he like? I mean, who influenced, you know, and you can go backwards. You could go, you know, if you were somebody like the Beatles, for example, and I'm showing my age here that I'm using the Beatles as a contemporary artist, but, you know, you can go from the Beatles and go backwards to Buddy Holly and Little Richard and Chuck Berry and Elvis and Carl Perkins. And then you can go to Elvis and Carl Perkins and go backwards to, you know, all the gospel quartets, you know, Hovey Lister and the Statesmen and the Blackwood Brothers and Sam Cooke and the Soul Stirrers, and you can work your way backwards and discover just a treasure trove of great music and musicians, and you can find your own voice that way, because you don't want to be imitating any one particular person. Everyone has to be, everyone is influenced and has a favorite, and you've got to start out by trying to, you know, copy that guy or that gal that you love the best, and but you've got to find your own voice. You know, you've got to find your own sound.
Well, and I think as we've talked here today, I mean, appreciating your history and where you've come from, good and bad, determines our future, and I just think it's great. I think we both have that appreciation for history, and any of these kids who want to go back and learn the history of music and learn to appreciate everything.
That's right.
And we're going to close out with another song, but before we do, and I'll turn it over to you, I've been talking with Lightnin Charlie, of course, and I'm Martha Beverly with the City of Kingsport, and we've been right here in the Kingsport Renaissance Center. Behind us is the beautiful artwork that's here in the art gallery on the 2nd floor. We invite you to visit our art galleries here on the 2nd floor anytime, and we have a beautiful show going on right now, and would certainly invite you to come by. And we're going to close out, and thank you for being here today. And
it's been a pleasure seeing you again.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it, and we will be looking forward to more copies of your book. And we're going to close out with another one of your favorites.
I'm going to get my Sharpie pen and sign
Okay, I'm going to take you up on it.
Right,
Thanks.
I need my baby to hold me in her arms. Well, I need my baby to hold me in her arms. In the summer to cool me, in the winter to keep me warm. When she calls my name, my head goes round and round. When she calls my name, my head goes round and round. When she kisses my lips, my heart jumps up and down. Well, I need my baby right here by my side. Well, I need my baby right here by my side. If she can't be my sweetheart, let her be my blushing bride.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss Martha. I love you, hon. Thank you.